we're going to take a bit of a look at an MR that I've got in progress to migrate customer relation contacts from a plain, boring GL table list, which has client-side sorting implemented, to a much more, what do I call it, evolved component which implements the counts, the tabbing for different states, pagination. I'm sure there's some other nice stuff that it does as well. So I'm making quite good progress with an MR at the moment. It touches a lot of back end and front end. And I had an interesting pairing session yesterday, which I'll share a link for, to look at how we can improve some of the, what do I call it, dry up some of the stuff that we're doing, not the contact state enum, contact sort enum. So there's a lot of boilerplate code required to kind of create the back end to be able to, so the client side sorting of a GL table is a piece of cake, and it just works. But as soon as you introduce paging or filtering or anything else, all of a sudden it has to be server side. So we have to write a bunch of GraphQL stuff, and it became, really bad. I had to create a contacts count resolver, I think. Country contact. I thought I did. Contact count resolver. There you go. Contact state counts resolver. I had to create a contact count type. Why is my VS Code being absolutely useless? State counts type. I had to create the contact sort enum. I had to create a whole load of scopes and methods in the model. There was just a lot of mess. So yeah, we had a really interesting backend pairing session yesterday. So I'll share the YouTube link where we kind of managed to dry this up quite a lot. It's yet to go for a review, so I don't know how people are going to feel about it. But before this was probably 20 lines of just copy paste, underscores, ask, etc., where it's now a little bit nicer, where we just define our list of sortable fields, and then this does the magic and creates the ascending and descending for all of those fields. And on the contact model, we create these two fairly nice dynamic order scopes where you pass the field through and they do the magic from there. So rather than having to define every single order in the model, we just define these two generic ones. Then any specific ones that we need to do where it's a bit more complex, so to sort contacts based on organization, we have to join to the organization table to get the name. So if there's complex sorts, then we will need to kind of tag them on here. Anyway, so we did a lot of the back end stuff. That's all great. I've got one bug that I want to look at, and then it's really about starting to write some tests, I think. So the bug, in the hope that I can recreate it, is when going to edit a record. Okay, so that one works nicely. Let's try a different one. That one works nicely. Maybe I've inadvertently fixed the bug. No, I don't think I have. So I believe what's happening is that the way this form currently works is it relies on grabbing the contact record from Apollo Cache, or if that's the right term, and the Apollo Cache. Let's find.
So it's not actually fetching the data when you open the drawer.
Yeah, so we deliberately made it so to try and be clever. We avoided making a trip to the server to populate this GL drawer. So yeah, we're just pulling it from the cache. That was working fine when you were just kind of displaying all records and you were just making one GraphQL call. But now that we're doing kind of sorting, filtering, searching, all that kind of stuff, it falls down.
Yeah.
Working. Typical. That one's working as well. Now, I think I know the reason for that. So we'll just have a quick look at how that works. So the contact form wrapper, I think, has something in here. I thought it had something in here. What do we pass through? Existing ID. Query. Yeah, so we pass the query and the ID through. The problem is that the query that we pass through, we're only passing the group full path at the moment. So the query in here has evolved. So we're now passing in a search and a state and a sort and a page number. So all these additional things. So I guess that the Apollo cache has the default state when we hit this page. It's got all these records are cached, and will load perfectly well on here. But as soon as I go to page 2, okay, I lie. I don't know exactly how or why then, but for one reason or another, I think. Go on.
Could you try to check if also the old tabs has the same problem? Could it be because you can see the problem only in the inactive tab?
That's interesting. The all tab doesn't seem to be doing what it's supposed to be doing either. So we've just found another little bug, which is possibly good. So let's just have a look why that's potentially doing what it's doing. So when we hit all, okay, variable state, customer value all. Okay, so yeah, I don't really know how I feel about that, whether it should just pass, whether it should remove it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Should it pass anything, or?
Oh.
Let me just have a look at if there's any other ones. Yeah, we've got all, so I'm cool with that.
Okay.
These contacts, available contacts. So hopefully that will fix that little bug once we've waited for it to recompile.
I updated the value also. You left active instead of all.
Oh, thank you. Apparently we broke it. So right. think it's trying to. I don't know what it's doing. Like it's actually trying to pass that to the back end. Invalid input syntax for type small int all.
A small hint.
Let me
Oh,
just-
there should be also an enum to convert the active to.
So I thought that having that in there, I just kind of say, well, if they pass all, just ignore it, drop it, because I'm not quite sure why that's ever getting. Do you think I need to do that?
Oh, maybe yes. Could be that. There's this difference between symbols and strings that's driving me crazy sometimes.
Excellent. So if I look for to be doing the trick. And it's not finding it. So let's move that search again. I can't remember which one I was. It was this one, wasn't it? Okay, perfect. So yeah, my thinking is that it's only really displaying. This only works if it's the first page of results.
Okay.
Because we're not passing all of these parameters through. So it's looking at the cache of this query with this parameter. It's not looking at the query or the cache of this query with these parameters.
Yeah.
What we need to figure out is what the best approach to fix that is, because there's a lot of parameters, let's call them, to pass.
Well, you could try to see if removing all the other parameters, the other tabs work. Because if you remove all of, where was it? I don't know. If you only leave the group full path, the query and variables are the same. So it should load the data from this pink contact.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is it wouldn't actually return this contact.
Oh.
Because the criteria. If I did something like, if I hard code the state in here, I suspect that will fix it.
But you're also missing all the other variables.
Exactly. But let's just, out of interest, see if that. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's definitely the problem. But I guess I want to have a look. How can we pass those through to this component? And is that actually what we want to do?
Well, you're passing the contact in here? No.
Not really. We pass, so this gets, where is it? Group full path, group ID. These are injected from the back end.
Oh, because it's getting the ID of the contact from the URL.
Contact ID, yes, from the root, exactly.
So in here, you actually only have the full path and the contact ID. You don't have its state.
Yeah, or the page number, or all the countless other arguments and parameters that we need.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if there's any way to
But also, I think what happens if you copy that URL on a new tab and the data isn't on the cache?
It waits till it loads, if that makes sense. So if I just
Okay, so basically it's gonna be loading the list and then okay. Yeah, because you won't have that drawer open without the list.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh no, actually you can if you have the ID of contact that's on another tab. You won't have the contact data from the table.
So you're saying if I was to just change this to like 100, you mean?
Yes, if that's inactive contact, it wouldn't fetch the data, I guess.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So if it's not loaded in the default state, yeah, so maybe the correct resolution, and that's, I'm glad you said that, because I'm not sure that the correct approach, if that's the right term, is to pass all of the variables or parameters. I think that's going to get a bit messy.
I guess, yeah. Also, is it right that when you edit an inactive contact, you still see the active contact list?
When you,
For example, if you copy the URL and set the ID of an inactive contact, the page will load the active contacts, but you're going to be editing the inactive contact.
I feel like that's okay. But yeah, I'm trying to think about what the more, if there's more desirable behavior, what that more desirable behavior is.
Yeah.
Like, would you say if this isn't in the cache, then maybe, like, I don't think you can do it by ID, but like, should we 330, 380? No, we don't search on ID at the moment, but should we actually put that into the search so that it only shows that record?
Yeah, but how would that behave when you actually click on the edit button? Would it clear the list? Because it's
well, I'm thinking, yeah, I think there's, I don't know what you want to call it, separation of concerns, or coupling is becoming a bit, becoming a bit too coupled for my liking. But the first thing that you made me think of doing was, but is that going to work? I was going to say to, if the contact isn't available in the cache, to go and fetch it.
Yeah.
But I've tried to abstract this this form maybe a bit too much. And I don't know how easy that's going to be.
How did you manage to get that form to actually load only from the cache?
So what's it do? It's records it gets from the query and the variables, and then somewhere initial model. So it looks at the records and finds the record with the relevant ID, and then goes from there.
Yeah, but it should still execute the query.
Only if the query isn't cached, and the query always will be cached because you can't load that page without executing the query.
Yes, but the key from that for that cache should be the composition between the query itself and the variables.
Yep.
If the variables are different, it should
The variables, but you can't get to, like, for example, this screen. You can't get to this screen without going via this screen, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So whenever you hit this endpoint, or even this endpoint, it first loads this list with just the group full path variable. Then you can slice and dice it however you want.
Okay.
So when I sort this, all of a sudden I've now got two copies of this query in the cache, one with just the group full path and one with the sort order, the page number, the sort column, etc. So
so that's not actually how it is done. So it's not gonna have a copy of sorting for first name and sorting for last name. It's only gonna have the state in the cache. No, not even that. Only the full path.
Just the full path, yeah. So that's why this is now broken, because
Okay.
I only got the one variable. So we basically need to change the way it works in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's by, I would like to keep reading it from the cache, ideally, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's a better. Follow.
I think I know the perfect person that could help.
Natalia, to the rescue! Yes, interactive. I guess so. The first thing to think of is, so part of me is trying to say, well, don't assume the variables are correct, because we know that they're not. But the record might not be in the cache at all, right? So we've got two kind of bridges, two challenges to overcome. We've got the records not in the default cache, but it is in the cache if you pass the right parameters. And you've got the record isn't in the cache at all.
I might have found something. Why on the contact form wrapper are you fetching organizations?
Because we need to display them here.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. I thought that was a query loading the data for the contact. Yeah. Oh, now it makes a bit more sense. The get query is actually getting the data. Okay. The
exactly.
query information. Then okay.
Yeah, this is a pain. I feel like we probably just need to stop trying to be clever and stop trying to read it from the cache, because there's too many ifs, buts, and maybes.
Mm-hmm.
That would be better off just fetching the record.
Well, I guess that if you skip the loading the data from the cache, you can actually get that component to be more reusable.
Yeah, potentially. So maybe you could edit a contact on an issue directly without having to navigate away from the issue, or edit the contact in some other context. Is that kind of what you're thinking about?
Yeah, more or less, yes.
Okay. God, that is going to be a nightmare. So
Come on.
what could we? I feel like I don't know if obvious answer is the right thing to say, but that we need to add. So we can't currently. Yeah, so we can fetch a contact by its ID already.
Yes.
Oh, is this going to be easier than I thought? Probably not, but let's hope so.
Yeah, because I needed that to fetch content by ID for the search bar.
Can we just do the ID or IDs?
IDs.
And they've got to be the GraphQL IDs, right? So
Yes.
this might be this easy, but maybe I'm being optimistic.
That needs to be an array.
Thank you. So yeah, it's always going to have to make an additional GraphQL trip to the server, but
Only if it's not inside the cache.
no, always, because it's never going to be inside the cache.
Oh, because the variables will be different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't seem to be making calls to the cache. So now I'm confused.
Does it work for the inactive?
Do you know what? I think I might know why. Oh no, maybe I need to reload, or maybe I'm doing something really silly. Reload. Right, so edit. Yeah, so that hit the server. That didn't hit the server. That didn't hit the server.
That's strange.
That didn't hit the server. That's still not working. I feel like I've not done something right somewhere.
We are missing something.
Yeah. We are 100%. Get group. Contact. We're not passing it in here.
Oh. Small detail.
Exactly. So IDs is if I can probably steal your code from somewhere, can't I? Get contact.
Yeah, if I remember where it's on the contact token. Here we should have.
There we go. Customer relations contact ID exclamation mark. And yeah, no, that is right. That is right.
Well, I guess if you want to not have an array on the other side, you can only have ID in here and then pass it as an array, because we're only gonna fetch the data for one.
I like your thinking. Although I don't know whether it'd be more reusable the other way, but do you know what the exclamation mark means?
Required parameter, I
So
guess.
we don't want that on there, do we?
I guess.
broken nullability mismatch on variable ID and argument IDs.
Oh, then we need it.
Okay. I'm really confused. Variable ID.
Sorry, I'll be back.
No worries. Okay. Beautiful. We might actually be there. Payload. Variables. Yeah. The ID's in there. So regardless of what we're looking at, perfect. That will do nicely. Customer relations contact. So the only drawback is it makes a GraphQL backend query every time unless we've already opened it up. I think that's acceptable. Okay, that's fixed. That's fixed. Excellent. Writing some tests. Start with the back end. That will have to be the first merge request. So let's have a look what we've changed. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh.
And I'm back.
Oh, I just realized because I rebooted, I need to sign back into GitLab. I won't be one moment.
So is it working? I didn't.
Yeah, you missed the moment. Yeah. So it's all good essentially, and as expected, the only drawback, I'll just reload the page. So you'll see here, like it made a GraphQL to get the list of contacts, and then made a separate one somewhere, I imagine.
I guess that's.
There you go. This one to get that specific record. There's good and there's bad. Like, so we changed to the inactive and it had to make another GraphQL query. But now if we try and reopen this record,
it does work.
It doesn't need to make another query because it's already got that query with that variable in the cache.
Okay, right.
So it is making a little bit of extra traffic to the back end, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, I guess one query is not that much.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's better than trying to be clever and having lots of ifs and buts and maybes, I think. But we'll let the reviewers decide that. So I think I'm at a point now, I hope, so sorting on that column, sorting on that column, sorting on that column. It's all looking pretty good.
When you go back to sorting for the phone column, okay, no, it looked like the email column was a bit over and going.
Yeah, I might be able to improve it because it does overlap a bit if you haven't got it configured. But hey ho, I just want to check as well. Would be quite nice, to be honest. But I'm not going to worry because I've copied this from elsewhere. If when you switch to a different tab, if it persisted that as well in some way, that'd be quite nice. But I'm not going to get carried away. So my thinking was, hopefully it's working now. We've got a fairly good list. I haven't pushed up that little fix that we just did, but clearly we'll need to push the backend changes and MR for the backend changes first.
Yes.
So writing some backend tests. Start. So I guess I just start from the top and work down. Have you got like I guess it's a good place to get insights into how you approach your writing tests?
Oh yeah, more or less, yes. If I didn't have the MR already created, I would go through the changes on Visual Studio.
So it might take a minute to like compile build Gitterly or something like that because I haven't run backend specs for a long time.
Enable Spring? What is that?
I wish I could give you a really good answer. It does some kind of caching, I think, and sometimes it speeds up back-end specs. Have to be a little bit careful. It probably, from time to time, can come back and bite you because maybe you get some false positives or something where when you're making changes, they're not accurately reflected. But I've not found too many issues, but generally it seems to improve things and not make them worse.
Yeah, I got it.
The other thing I might quickly try while we're here, I didn't realize that there are two spec helpers. You got fast spec helper and just spec helper until fairly recently. So what I will also do is I'll see if these specs work using fast spec helper as well. I don't know. I haven't started looking into it to understand what is and isn't supported. Essentially, why you would need to use one over the other.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to speed up the tests.
Yeah, it's definitely something that as the test suite has grown and grown and grown. Yeah, it's important. Oh, fun times. Yeah, I'm guessing there's some compilation fun to go on there. What can I do while we're waiting? I could start looking at a front end one just while I'm waiting for that. How long do we think it's going to take? So I think so that's 100% failure, right? Brilliant. But I think I know.
Yes.
This is
Kind of the property of undefined.
Okay, easy one. This I've added a new. We're now injecting this which is this. So this search criteria does actually persist. As I say, maybe I'll look at trying to persist some other things at a later stage. But I stole this from another list in GitLab that I don't think does it. Maybe I'll take that opportunity to check quickly. Oh God, where do I get to them? It was incidents.
Or do you have lists?
So there's a really cool trick that I'm going to share as well, which forgive me if you already know it. I needed to create a number of issues, or not issues, incidents quickly. Where are they? Under monitor, aren't they? So I'm just going to find where I shared this.
Oh yeah, incidents aren't only a premium feature. Or is it?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I was thinking about a test that I was writing before.
So yeah, I needed to see how pagination and various other things work. So this is the current. This is what I borrowed the code from, and you can see that switching between tabs isn't changing the query string. But I guess if we do 50, then that does. So I feel that as long as I've kept at least equal quality feature, whatever you want to call it, it should be okay. So yeah, in order to kind of test this, I needed a bunch of incidents. So I hope this will be helpful for you, useful, something you might reuse in the future. Is this still running? No, it's done. Okay, that's surprising that they all still passed. It's gonna do fast spec helper. Yeah, so you can't do a let it be. So it looks like we can't do. I don't think I did anything stupid there. Require fast spec helper. Text before, after. Yeah, so it looks like you got lets, but not let it be's. I'll try and learn a bit more about that at a later stage. The cool thing that I was going to show you, so from a Rails console, if you need, let's say you want to check this MR out afterwards, but you've only got a few contacts and you can't be bothered to sit there and create new contact, and create however many you need to fill up a page. Here's one I prepared earlier. Where's it gone? So yeah, this was specifically for creating incidents, but you can do equal with anything else. So factory bot is what we use in our specs for creating objects quickly. So you just do that, create list, what you want, how many of them you want, and then any sort of variables you want to type to a project or whatever. And bingo, magic. So that definitely saved me a lot of manual effort.
Oh, that's actually maybe easier because I was working on the releases API and there weren't any release actually.
Yeah.
So I could try to do that instead of manually creating a release and uploading packages.
Absolutely. Give it a try. Yeah. You might find that sometimes the stubbed objects that are created or models or whatever you want to call them, might break things, but it's certainly worth a try.
Okay.
Okay, so this was still passing, which I found quite surprising. I guess if we look at the diffs, what have I done? So I've created this new
Method.
yeah, what would I call this? Yeah, I always get confused between instance methods and static methods and whatnot. So the main thing is that we can now pass in a sort order.
Yeah.
And we've got this new entry point as well. So, so we haven't actually got any other self methods in here, have we? So I forget exactly how you're supposed to define. I have a feeling, but
Without the hash, with a with a dot.
Perfect. I'm glad you knew that one. Thank you. So that seems like the obvious first choice, right? So the only thing is, we've done all the hard work of setting up. Okay, maybe not. I wondered if we could reuse any of this kind of setup. So maybe at some point I'll be able to move some of this into the more global context. But I think I'll just spin up. Let's just do something like that to start with.
Well, maybe I should check with live share. It's gonna be easier than watching the stream.
Yeah, probably. So what we can do, so we've got a root group. I'm not going to create a subgroup because it shouldn't be needed. So we define subject, do we?
Inside the execute, yeah.
Yeah, just in there. So now brain needs to, yeah, okay, so we pass it the same thing as the user. And then the params. So I think that execute. But this is slightly different. So I'm a little bit surprised that this works actually. Group is group and group is that. Because that's a hash.
Yeah, but also looking at the X. Oh no, there's the okay. No.
I'm surprised that we don't have to do something like, group or something like that.
Yeah, even outside, removing the more external group. I mean, wrapping it like this.
Yeah, but it doesn't need that, right? And that surprises me. Well, all the tests are passing, aren't they? So
yeah, that's yeah.
So yeah, maybe there's a bit of Ruby magic that we're not familiar with there, but this one we think needs to look like group. Actually, I don't think there are any other parameters for this one. Oh, so we can pass in some others maybe. So let's just do that for now.
What is me? Yeah.
So we've got root group with 2. So shall we do? I don't even know if I particularly need to.
Counts by state. Counts by state, and let's contact.
Really need to state it, to be honest, but
Counts by state.
so we want, I don't know, 5. To be honest, we don't really need. So what do we need there? I don't know if I need. Do I need a context? I don't know. Or can I just put it in?
Well,
And I'm not sure if this is active or state, but we'll find that out in a minute when we try and run this test. So
no, it's
gonna-
state.
it's
State with a symbol for active and inactive.
So we expect to get back counts. Might not just find that as a subject because I think we're going to want to change the parameters maybe on each call.
Yeah, maybe.
We expect counts. God, haven't done this for so long. How do we do like an object, match an object?
Include? No, include is only gonna check if there's. But what is gonna be returned by counts by state?
So I'm expecting it to say something like this, and it's going to be inactive 2, active 3, or 5. That's a really bad example of what it should look like, but
I guess you can use EQ.
I forget. Obviously, in the C# world, you can't do equality because it's checking by reference, but I don't know how Ruby works.
Is there even a match object?
Apparently not.
Oh, I try with EQ.
Give it a go. Can't
Fairly
hurt.
sure that's gonna work.
It's probably the object looks completely different, but the best way to find out. Okay, what's it complaining about?
Do and. Is it missing a context? No.
It could be.
Well, there's
something as simple as a silly typo.
Oh yeah, it updated.
Trait not registered. Did I get this the wrong way around? Do you say how many you want before you say?
I guess that trait should be last.
But these aren't traits, are they? These are just properties. Again, just gonna run rather than walk. Slow down.
No. Oh, yeah.
Come on. This is why we love Jest so much. When you make a change and the tests rerun in like less than a second.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I much prefer writing backend tests than front-end tests.
Woohoo!
Expected God.
They actually look the same to me, but I guess it's a difference between like a hash and an object, or
No, it didn't actually get anything because it expected the.
oh no, sorry, yeah, right, I think again. Okay, you know what? Finding.pry is nicer.
Yeah.
I still need to call execute, don't I? Oh no, this
No.
calls execute.
But oh, okay. Now I get what they actually returning. Counts by state.
So maybe I need to put the breakpoint in here somewhere. Or do I need to give the user permission? Is it something as silly as that?
Did you enable the CRM feature on the group?
I believe so, yeah, because I copied this. I think it might be permissions when the user does not have. Yeah. This is where I think I prefer to move a load of stuff up to the kind of top level and say, like, user with access, let user without access, etc.
My God, my cats are jumping from one point to the other. They're quite big also, so
Do they have a tendency to trash the place?
luckily no. But now they decided to.
Oh, come
Okay.
on. Come on. I've tried to run it too early, so I need to wait until the file's actually saved.
Finger crossed.
No, that's good. That's good.
It's not returning all.
So why would it not do that? Because I'm sure it must return all because unless no, I bet we do that in the
We do a sum on the front end.
yeah, not on the front end. I think maybe the type.
Key push. Oh.
Maybe we don't get all back. Yeah, maybe you're right, Marco. Maybe we don't need that for to do this. In fact, I could just look in here.
Count. Oh. Group. Where is it defined? Oh, so the group.
No, we do get all back from the GraphQL API at least. So
what does the mutation do? No, the query, the resolver, maybe.
Yeah, could it be the result? Yeah.
Issue. No.
Is it in the Finder itself, maybe?
Contacts Finder.
Where do we counts by state?
Yeah, and I just have a look at that counts by state, and it's only returning group and then count.
Yeah. Where is the magic?
Counts by
I would have thought if anywhere it would be in here.
Hash new merge. Oh, okay. I found it. It's on contact state counts.rb.
Oh, there's a library, isn't there?
Yeah, and there's a method all where it does count values sum.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot this was another point of discussion yesterday, how many like steps were required in the back end, the type, the resolver, the finder, the library, the changes to the contact model itself. And I really want to try and slim this down so that in future we don't have to create all of this I don't know what you want to call it, just code, I guess, just to do something as straightforward as this.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, cool. So why is this? So yeah, that's right. So the Finder doesn't return it.
Yeah.
But the resolver calls this, which adds it in. Perfect. So that's perfectly. The spec is correct that it shouldn't return the all.
Yes. I guess that in a couple of minutes I'll have to go.
Yeah, there's no worries, as will I. We've just passed our hour anyway, so
oh yeah, actually.
I was too eager again. I ran it before the file had actually saved. I think I've got save on format on save enabled with some kind of RubyCop thing, so it takes a couple of seconds after hitting save to actually persist. And that's just because they're strings, I guess, rather than
no, because the tests, if you look at the diff, we are no.
no, not this place. This place.
Yeah.
Is that valid? I don't quite know what the syntax should be.
Yeah, it didn't comply even if it didn't have the column at the beginning. Is that valid?
I do not know. I think we should definitely find another spec that does the same. So let me. I want to close it.
Undefined local variable.
I want to find contact state counts type, context finder. There was a issue finder of some sort.
Can you try to run the tests while we check? Because I think
absolutely
work this way.
Somewhere where I borrowed this from.
Oh, they're using string and an arrow.
I just want to look for a spec. Alerts, find a spec. That should reveal all. Because that's basically what I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah, it failed again.
Here you go. To match. Let's try that.
To match. To... There's not. Oh, yeah, there actually are.
Ah, but it's brackets, not curlies.
No, I actually found an example with curly brackets. Oh.
Oh, we've somewhere along the lines we've broken something else.
That's where it was complaining.
Come on.
What it is now?
That suggests it's actually returning different between.
Yeah, because
this return.
Yeah, because if you look at to match, it's looking for symbols, not for strings.
But then, why is...
Does it work if we do it this way?
Just seems like I should be copying the thing. If I copied the code from this finder, then you would expect
It should work.
to use the same.
What is it complaining about? Use the new Ruby 1.1.9 hash syntax.
Yeah, so I think the arrow syntax is just an old school. I wonder if this... So when they do their group, they do this weird transform keys, which maybe changes them into something different. And I think I don't do that. I just group on the state and count. But I don't like doing things if I don't understand why or what. So, yeah. So
expected.
So saying they are symbols. And what did we try? I can't remember what we actually tried now. This isn't valid, right? See, this even confuses me even more, because here it looks like it's saying it's expecting string arrow.
Yeah.
to match symbol arrow, but then here it looks like this is what it got. And it didn't get this. So it's almost the inverse of
Oh,
strange. What am I overcomplicating? Should it be like counts dot active free counts dot inactive?
Is it to be or to EQ? No, I guess to be. Yeah, to be. Yes. Oh, maybe you have to access the active and inactive with the brackets.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure.
Yeah, undefined method. Hopefully this will be the last one.
Yeah, hopefully. It's only the first test, you realize.
Well, you have a whole bunch of tests to work on then.
Yep.
Well, you said you like writing tests.
No, I did not.
I can go back and find the message.
Expected integer 7 to 3. Got nil class 8. What on earth does that mean?
This is even more confusing.
Yes. No. It's because... No, it isn't. I was thinking that every time we call counts, is it called? No, it isn't.
No, but it's suggesting to use EQ instead of B.
Okay.
No, to EQ.
Weird happened there. Just want to get this one working and then call it a day.
If it's working.
Well, the annoying thing is we can see the data we're getting back. I'm sure there must be some super simple online thing where you can copy and paste what it's getting back and it will tell you what the assertion is that you should be making.
Got nil?
Yeah, but that's what it was saying before, wasn't it? It was saying like this integer 7, nil class 8. I mean, what on earth does that mean?
Does it work this way then?
I can try it.
If this doesn't work, I don't know what is not working. It surely is something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Lovely job. Excellent. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Marco. We'll call it a day now. I'll push up some changes probably tonight once I've written a few more tests. And yeah, have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Sleeping is
Catch
not
you later.
enough, right?
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.